Okay. God, you gotta love, thing. Ended up, I'm gonna have to resort my pieces because oh God, it's frustrating. I had all my pieces sorted into, alright. I had all my pieces sorted into build order and everything. So, and then it ended up dropping, and I'm like, and so because I have to just, I mean, it's not going to take that long because I just have to bring up Epic Design and I'm just have to go through and be like, okay, and just thing. It's just me. Uh, because I'll be able to actually go and click on just the piece there, and I'll be able to sort that a hell of a lot faster than it took me to actually do it. But as this is documentation for the costume contest as well, uh, let's see now. Got a text in. I really wish I'd done this thing, but anyway, uh, this is actually the first joint I did on the suit. Some of the things that thing. Also, by the way, this is also for my channel itself. So if you're one of the judges that actually did take the time to watch this, don't worry. I'm not trying to do this like, oh, absolute whatever. I mean, I've actually talked to people who've done cosplay contests and stuff, and I know that you guys hate that. It's just so this is also just for my other channel. It's just if you feel like watching all of these things or whatever, thank you, but yeah, it's about the tools, materials. This is just some. I think it's half inch. Yeah, it's a half. Yeah, it's a half inch. Not is it? Yeah, that's a half inch. Yeah, half inch. MDF or whatever. It's cheap plywood. Um, and this is something kind of. Oh, sorry. I'll have to get a better camera in. This thing, I'm actually going to post pictures and stuff or whatever. I wish I had reversed the camera to begin with. I'm actually kind of playing with the whole concept of the Full Metal Alchemist armor, the younger brother, kind of thing, as well as, kind of doing, in like just something I put into each build or whatever. I just was playing around with this, just because I figured since I can't, I may as well at least basically pretty much everything I did other than gluing a couple of pieces together is stuff I would have been doing towards the in a later stage, and so I figure I'm a at least get something done. So. Uh, but yeah, I'm really pleased with how well it came out in terms of how closely at not only like the piece that I cut and how it's contouring, and this is something I like the detail of. In terms of it being something that I do, but the reason why the glue work is so horrendous on there is somebody a friend there was a friend of mine at one point, and there's a southern expression, God bless them or bless their heart, um, that is kind of the it's a southernism. Basically, it varies, but it generally means that, oh my God, it's like you're pretty much asking God, how could God create something this stupid? Is kind of the general connotation of that. Um, and that I don't know if I'm gonna keep that glue blob there. Um, but yeah, no, I was thinking about something. Just kind of, I had this like little running fanfic in my head of the Imperial Nerfherder. And, oh God, I was trying to do my first video in the Nerfherder thing. But then I ended up just having this design inspiration and then uh, yeah, the aphasia started kicking in, and I just became so anxious that I was looking like a complete idiot. Um, I know this is not a Jedi thing. I decided screw it. I'm just gonna put on my bathrobe because it's like a slightly cold. Um, But anyway, no, but anyway, what was I saying? Uh, yeah, I just a friend of like some of this is stuff I'm actually going to be talking about on my personal blog as well. So I'm trying to actually, make sure I stick more to the point of this channel, which is costuming and props. Uh, but there's a friend of mine that he would sit there. He would smoke rolling tobacco, and what he would do is when he got a can or God, I didn't realize my hair looked like crap. Sorry about that. Uh, is he would get like a can of rolling tobacco, and he would go and he would roll like, yeah, he would roll 3 cigarettes, and then just throw them away, and like, and I'd see him do this, and I was just like, what? And I didn't, I just, it didn't like register like enough with me to ask him the first time I saw him do it. And actually, it was like the first like 2 or 3 times I didn't say anything, and I finally asked him like a third time or third or fourth time. I was like, "Why do you do that?" And he's like, like, well, he said, like because when you're rolling, and when you're rolling, sometimes like tobacco does kind of spill out a little bit. And somebody had said that based on like how much the how much they roll into a cigarette on average and the estimated amount of waste, he estimates probably lose about like 3 cigarettes per can of that. And so therefore this guy would roll 3 cigarettes and throw them away so he wouldn't lose any more on them. And just so and yeah, to this day I just but anyway, um and I actually, I don't normally don't do these. I do vape anyway, but yeah, normally I do like actual one just because it just the replaceable battery, the tank, everything is just it fits what it is that I need, and because I actually am, do it so I don't smoke cigarettes because I switched over when my kid was born. But and I also am doing it for cosplay and other stuff like doing fog effects and things like that. So, um, but the reason why I did such a horrendous glue job there was because I just remember that I was thinking about that, and I was like, all right, fine. I'm just gonna get all of the bad glue work out of the way now, and so that way I don't have to worry about it for the rest of the project. Uh, but I'm actually very pleased with how well, how close I actually came, in terms of like cutting out the template and everything else. I mean, because like I really don't like jigsaws, just because I don't really I haven't used one that much now. Like there's a lot of other tools that I'm just more comfortable with, and stuff that you like would normally not even think you could use it for. Like I mostly because I was a really dumb kid who didn't quite understand when the shop teacher said don't fuck around with the blade, he meant it. But I actually got very good at using a bandsaw as a detail sander. Oh, I mean, and you have to be very careful with it because the blade, like, I do not recommend it to anyone. Okay, um, it's just I am very good at it. If I were to, but I can actually do it, especially if it's an adjustable speed bandsaw. I'll take it down. Uh, I'll take it down to about as slow as it can get while still appearing like as a moving blade. Where you still can't see the teeth moving. And I can actually like I can put a damn good finish on a piece with a bandsaw. It's just yeah, like yeah. And that is Mary. I will talk about her also more on my personal blog. If any of you follow that. But yeah, she's my support dog. My therapy dog has more issues than I do. Um, but yeah, I'm actually very pleased with how well it came out and everything. But I'm also kind of, like I said, kind of playing around with the idea of stuff. But even in this, when I was doing the thing, I was actually kind of like trying to have, in sticking with parts of the character, this armor would have certain things. And one of the magical elements of that is one of the rules of the character I have, I should also explain, is that I have to be able to figure out how to, like, section something into its own element that can be removed or copy pasted or whatever from whatever fictional universe I'm pulling it from. And so because the symbol inside the armor on Full Metal Alchemist is magic, and therefore magic can do whatever. And I have this like really fuzzy definition of magic that lets me get away with a lot. So, and so therefore having this, and then because talismans are magic, therefore if I have a talisman in the armor, and then therefore I can do symbolic magic by making the talisman look in such a way that I can pick out any image that I want, kind of a Rorschach medallion or something, whatever. So, and that is actually a really long-winded justification of hammer space. If those of you who know anything about like Deadpool or hammer space in general, it's like where Bugs Bunny pulls the hammer out of, like nobody, I'm not quite sure if hammer space is where Jack Harkness keeps his weapons though, so that's a completely different discussion. But yeah, like I have like the Chewbacca's bandolier on here, or and like there's a stormtrooper thing, so I can actually summon a army of stormtroopers under my command, and so on. Because there's actually this weird Birdman Phoenix person Darth Vader crossover in one of my little sidelines, which by the way, the Death Star is actually the escape pod of the captain's yacht, which docks into the actuals. Oh yeah, believe me, I am really grandiose in my battle stations, trust me. The Death Star is like a survey pod or something. But I have a really, oh god, if you ever ask me about my Death Star battle armor control system, it is a really cool idea. It probably, I think I actually originally thought of it when I was like 11. So, But yeah, based on how closely I've been able to get this to conform as it is, I may very well actually be able to do the first layer lined up with the paper that I just never peeled it off. But for function of the conversation anyway, even if I had the bottom of the plywood would be the cardstock of the full model if I'd built that. So, but let's see. The next thing I'll be doing is after I resort these pieces. Yeah, I actually am going to, like I said, I'm just going to continue this around, and then I'll actually no, it'll be from this side over, and then I end up coming across. I believe I may change the build order, but it's like, yeah, basically, I do a whole thing, and then from here over, and then this up along the top of the kneecap, or the little flare above the knee, basically, and then down around, and I just kind of go back and forth up backside. When I do my build orders, if you ever watched Tron, when the transfer sequence, when the laser's beaming him into the computer, and you see him being disassembled, and it actually shows him being reassembled. Kind of what visual I get in my head. One of the things that really gives me an edge, if I actually get myself to get on task and stay on task, is in my design skills anyway, is I have this like basically virtual design space in my head that I can visualize models anywhere I go. So it really helps me, like when I'm trying to when I'm trying to do design work and everything. But yeah, right now I've got about as much as I can get done, even reasonably filling time. But I am happy with how it's coming out so far. So I am really confident about this. Once I build the leg, or once I build the boot, I already have my frame pieces pre-cut, and so I'll be able to get everything kind of dry fit, uh, decide my riser heights and everything else, and kind of get and then get the bottom, get the boot frame built. And then work on the knee design. And then I'll be able to actually get the thigh piece done, and then get the thigh section of the bottom half, done. So that way I can just, make. And then once I have those measurements, I just, shoot them onto the other pieces, and then just do all my cuts and everything. And that way I could just, at that point, just build the left boot frame, and then just build and skin around it and go from there. Because I'll also be able to figure out as I build.
Powering off.
Okay, my Bluetooth speaker died, or timed out, I should say. Okay, yeah, where was? Oh yeah, one of the things that I'm going to be working on later. I'm trying not to put too much energy into thinking about it now. Is I'm going to be revising the frame as well, so that I can actually break the frame down and everything. Oh, okay. I actually just thought of another possible thing with that. Instead of this frame, I recreate the frame in PVC or wooden dowels. So that way, I can like really take out a lot of the thing, because I can do struts and bracings and things like that. Something actually I would actually be able to really much more easily design the 3D printing files for as well. So, and if I really decide, okay, I want to accept a challenge and I'm going to go with a complete paper build, I actually, because science, it was a science class made us actually do, we either had to be able to support the most weight or do the tallest paper structure. I just said, screw it. I just went and did a bunch of tightly wound cylinders. So that way, because the fact it could support me and three other of my classmates, I won on being able to hold the most weight. So I could actually design a support frame made out of paper cylinders if I really wanted to be a smartass. Anyway, so I'm gonna get cap this off because the dog just dropped a bunch of my pieces. Anyway,